Wednesday, June the 25th, 2025, and I'm over in Welham Green, which is a relatively local walk for me, down in Hertfordshire, South Hertfordshire. About to undertake 11.5 miles of walking from a source I haven't used before, Hertfordshire Walker. So let's see how this goes. It's a bit overcast today, but extremely humid, around 26 degrees at the minute. The wind's dropped, which is why I'm out today, coming from the west-southwest. But over the last few weeks it has been very windy for the time of year, I've noticed. More signs that Gaia is not happy with the planet. Anyway, it's 12:15, should be done by around 5ish. So let's press on, see what awaits. Shortly coming out of the station, take this public byway down Fox's Lane. So the initial walking is down this byway, and this walk from the Hertfordshire Walker website is walk number 22, the North Mymms way. Lots of traffic coming up this branch, the Hertford Loop, because there's signalling problems on the main line. So luckily I didn't have plans to travel any further afield today, because it would have been delayed. Now this is probably going to be my campaign over the summer, to avoid crowds, stay local, or at a push possibly get down to the Weald, because that tends not to be a honey trap. Now, as you can see, although it's bone dry at the moment, we're in need of rain. This could be a quagmire in the winter. Eventually I reach the newly resurfaced Bull's Lane. So around a mile in now, we come to the interestingly named Bell Bar, small hamlet. And as you can see from that mast in the background, one of the higher points on today's walk. Stood at around 370 foot at the moment. Does go up to about 450 if memory serves. So this is where Tony McFadden's based. His descendants came over to this country with my dad. Like many Irish, done well for himself. There in the distance, get some idea of the height we're at. Started at about 250 foot, so not much ascent today. Yeah, someone's probably got plans afoot for this field. That's what you tend to find with horses grazing. Someone's trying to get development on it. But we don't need any more of that in Hertfordshire, thank you very much. It's already rammed as it is. Keep whacking houses up, but where's the water coming from? It simply isn't enough. Just ahead of the busy A1000 here, we take this public footpath down the drive. Seeing that paper bag there reminds me that I read a report yesterday indicating that a decade on from banning plastic bags in supermarkets or charging a penny for them, etc., hasn't made a great deal of difference in the big scheme of things, because we're still struggling to get rid of plastic when there are already good ways of doing so with bacteria, etc. But yeah, unfortunately the withdrawal of plastic bags hasn't had the effect that they were hoping. Come out opposite Brookmans Park Golf Club. Very twee part of Hertfordshire this, obviously, being relatively close to London and relatively in the countryside. Although forever succumbing to development, so it's not as attractive as it used to be. Potter's Bar isn't far away, where the train crash was all those years back on my line. Here's an example of the kind of modern development you get. Golf Club Road, little boxes, top dollar money no doubt. Entering Gobian's garden, far there's been quite a lot of tree cover, which has been handy. Nice and cool, keeps the humidity away. And I noticed looking at the map, there's a lot of gobians around here, with a gobians open space, a gobians pond, gobians wood. So clearly, historically, a big family around here. Here is said gobians pond. With the usual chiff-chaffs and blackcaps about. And some big, are they carp of some kind? That's what you usually get in ponds, isn't it? Now coming into Gobian's Wood, and I can hear those damn parakeets in the background. There you go. Information panel here about the wildflowers and rare fungi. Fly agaric, jelly ear fungus, amongst others. Some nature notes according to the season. A memorial to Alan Hawcliffe, God rest his soul. Stood on a footbridge, crossing no more than a trickle of water here. And this is what happens in Hertfordshire now. Well, and in a lot of counties in the southeast. Too many houses, not enough water. And yet I'm the one, for example, that gets emails from Affinity, our local water supplier, asking me to cut back on water. Well, it's not us they should be blaming, it's the house builders. And further back beyond the, further downstream, if you excuse the pun, the numbers in this country, 10 million in the last decade. Water supply can't sustain that. Let me correct that as I cross another dried up stream. I think we do have enough water, it's just very poorly managed. I mean, that idea of moving water from Wales and the Lake District, for example, to the drier parts of the country, spoken about after the war, Second World War that is, just hasn't materialised. They continually focus the public's attention on reservoir building, but they're no good. Too much evaporation. Come out into open countryside again. Today's death, a crow. Wonder what took him or her. Old age probably. Not much tackles a crow. Buzzards, etc. all avoid them. Rather grand entrance up there. Don't know what to though. Plenty of sweet corn grown in Hertfordshire. Got some of this up our way as well. Just as we're about to do some more road walking, get an idea of the wooded nature of this area. Yeah, I've made this point in the past on my walks. Should be more of these signs about. Well done, Herts. Good to see they took part in the open farm 2 weeks back. Brookmans Park farm. Good way of the public getting to learn how their food is supplied. If that needs to be proven, can't believe that in this day and age. People don't know where their food comes from. Turns up like magic in a supermarket. Good God, man, what a world we're coming to. So thank you very much to the Royal Veterinary College, University College of London. Permissive route, which is needed because this is quite a busy road with no footpath next to it. And strangely, another dead crow. So there's something going on because I don't often see them. And suspiciously we're near the Royal Veterinary College as well. Lovely to see these ladybirds on the parting embers of the cow parsley. Obviously something in there that they like. Now on the outskirts of Brookmans Park. Walking alongside the rail line here. So instead of going straight ahead towards Brookmans Park station, which was an alternative starting point, but I chose Welham Green, we take a left here. So taking that path to my right would take you to Brookmans Park station, or from it if you started to walk at that point. I'm continuing straight ahead along Wise's Lane, and I am using a GPX track today. There are notes for which just Google the title of this walk and that'll bring you up all the information that you need to know about its origins, etc, etc. And there is a reason for this particular route historically, to do with the parish boundary. Another stream completely dried up. As we're about to enter Brick Kiln Wood, which I guess is self-explanatory. I notice a lot of ash down this part of Herts. Would have suffered during the dieback, which, as I mentioned on the last walk, hasn't been mentioned much lately, but no doubt it's still going on, and they're still working on a strain that's resistant to this dieback. Plenty of blackbird song around today, and the old chiff chaff. Another pleasant section of cool covered walking. Got the A1M coming up soon. I can hear it already, so it would be nice to get what bit of lunch I've got. I forgot to get sandwiches today, didn't have time. Haven't encountered any shops en route so far either, so it won't be a very long break, but I need to find somewhere to have these prior probably to tackling the A1M. Terrible. All that water we had last spring is rapidly disappearing. And I mean spring 2024. Ironically, we're at a place called Water End now on the map. As you can see, got to do a bit of road walking now along hopefully a quiet lane because its national speed limit applies here. Footbridge over the A1M. Thank God there is one. Now walking through Hawkshead Wood per the map, and not the Hawkshead in the Lake District where all the sewage is being dumped by United Utilities. Another shocking example of poor administration. Okay, this tree stump looks like a decent place to take my lunch, what there is of it. It's just gone 5.8 miles in, so around halfway. Perfect. And nice and cool in here as well. Mixed woodland, nice aroma from the pines, ferns are coming up well. Less lunch. Just gone 2:30, refreshments had. Time to press on. Wonderful. Just me and bird song and a little bit of the A1M in the far distance, which isn't so wonderful. Bit different to my last walk in Rutland though. No motorways up there. Albeit the same A1M does run past Stamford, but I wasn't so impressed with that side of the county. For obvious reasons. There's a pond that would have been absolutely full of water just a couple of months back. Amazing how we have one very wet spring and one dry one this year. Like I say, I'm going to monitor the holly this winter because that's a good indicator, I reckon. Song thrush up there, wonderful. Blackbird. And the old black cap. Okay, that's Black Horse Lane there. We now take Bridleway 10 towards North Mymms Park, past this lodge house. More woodland for sale, if anyone's interested. Self-explanatory on my left. Unfortunately I couldn't get it on camera, but a greater spotted woodpecker just seen. Private driveway there to Flint House, very pleasantly located, I'd say. So interestingly, 451 feet at the moment, so the high point of the walk, even though we can't tell it. So maybe that Flint House was built at a time when it had a good view from a high point. Who knows? There's that name Gorbians again. And I did see a big bird of prey take off just as I was about to start filming. Don't know what it was, but most likely a buzzard. Just past the dilapidated Oak Lodge on the map. There is a path off to my right here, which we do not take, but it get some idea of the height now. And the beauty of this walk is, even when you're out of the woods, it's oak, canopied.
Distance 7 miles.
Yeah, before I got interrupted, 7 miles up. Yes, oak canopied footpaths, so still nice and cool. The interestingly named Potwells, which was up until recently occupied by lambs and sheep. There you go. Yep, those little lambs that were around end of March, early April are soon growing. They must be absolutely boiling with those coats on. Poor things. And another field of oats. It's good to see. And there's the sensible ones underneath the spreading chestnut tree. So that's the North Mymms Park estate. Well, that's quite amazing. I don't think I've ever seen conkers starting to form at the end of June before. It's got to be a sign of the planet warming up a tad. Amazing. Horse chestnuts in June. Memorial there to someone or something, just as we come up to the vicarage, ironically, and the only church on today's walk as far as I know. So here we have it, St Mary's Church, North Mymms, Diocese of St Albans. And this would have made a nice lunchtime stop, but it's too far into the walk, unfortunately. Depending on where you start, mind you. If you start at Brookmans, it's very feasible. Interesting, the flags are in fact, I don't know if they're graves underneath, but memorials to these various people. So lovely and cool in here. The old bell tower. That's the entrance door. An extension at the back called St Michael's Room. Local dignitaries there. George Jarvis, for example. Quite broad at the front. 14th century St Catherine's Chapel, which houses the organ. (1894) this one. Liverpool, London, Bristol and Edinburgh. All mod cons here with the donation point. No visitors booked though, unusually. I usually sign those. Ruth Barr, current incumbent. (1816). Yeah, interesting. So a parting shot as we leave the churchyard. That must be North Mymms Park House. Final views back before I do a bit more road walking along the Tollgate Road, which looks quite busy at 4 o'clock, as it now is. And there's the busy A1M again, having just crossed the Tollgate Road. A1M we also cross shortly. Yeah, so although this farmer's marked the path clearly, doesn't look like it's used very often. So he hasn't bleached it like they normally do. I think he's hedging his bets and trying to get a crop out of it as well. Doesn't make for easy walking. Path should be flat, level. Over the A1M, part 2. Our journey's straight ahead, but as you can see, farmer hasn't reinstated the path there. It's quite amazing really. We're next to the A1M, very close to a transmission line, and yet this little bit of rough land, ragwort, and this lovely lilac coloured plant, and poppies, brambles, supporting a number of butterflies, etc. So nature struggles to make a living where it can, but it's not enough. Unfortunately. Look at that, absolutely ludicrous. Whole bag of litter being dumped next to the kissing gate. Still plenty of tree cover. Very good this walk for today, really. Nice and cooling, and the breeze is picking up now. Rain's due overnight, I believe. So exactly 10 mile in at this point. Information here about Parsonage Wood green space, which I'm guessing that is behind there somewhere. Passing the rear of M&S's distribution point. The GPX track takes a left here, continues on through an industrial area. I'm going to vary it slightly at the end here to take a right then left into the town. So 10.8 miles, 4 hours 22 later. That was a decent enough walk for a local one, and appropriately shady on a very humid day today. Overcast now, but sunny intervals during the walk. Yeah, not a bad walk. So as I say, I might be trying some more local ones off of that site in the not too distant, because I don't want to be travelling with the crowds during the school holidays. So Hertfordshire Walker, Walk 22, North Mymms Way, completed. Till the next time.